Hello everybody, Seth with Everyman Prepping here. How are y'all doing today? Well, I want to talk about today some of the most current news stories that come out and see if we're still on that long march towards, global Armageddon, World War III, everything like that. And I can tell you up front, yes, we are. Nothing's slowed down. Nothing has come to terms. In fact, today, the United States says they're rejecting Putin's terms for a ceasefire over there. He kind of suggested through Tucker the other day, hey, I'm ready for peace talk. Let's start. And the United States basically said, nah, we're not going to talk about peace right now. We want to, try to get 65, 90 more billion dollars over to Ukraine to probably launder it into something else. But let's continue with the stories and see what we have. We're going to start off here talking about Hezbollah. So this is Hassan Nasrallah. He gave a little speech basically saying, yeah, for 4 months, Israel's been attacking us on the border up there. They've done nothing to us. We're strong. Israel's going to be the one that's defeated. Every day, Hezbollah is attacking the outpost of Israel. They're, attacking their lookout centers, their commo, their communication, their intel gathering. Every day they go and attack. Then, Israel will strike back. There's a lot of settlements along the northern border of Israel that, the people can't get back into. And, one thing that Israel said is, until we can get our people safely back in there, we might have to go in there and push Hezbollah back behind some river that they're talking about. It's like 30 miles inland. Don't think they're ever going to agree to that. So look for something to happen with Hezbollah because it's ramping up as we speak. Moving on from there, we have this. This is an Iranian drill to simulate an attack on one of Israel's largest air bases. It says a simulated military attack on a major Israeli air base by the elite, I don't know how elite they are, but Elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. Some of those same people that, were bombing in Iraq and Syria for taking out the U.S. service people. But anyway, it says the RGC utilized naval assets to fire munitions, ballistic missiles. They use submarines. You can see here a drone taking off in their, mock battle they did. And then the General Salami. Wow, that's a heck of a name. Anyway, General Salami said that he claimed his forces for the first time successfully launched a long-range ballistic missile from a warship. Still can't give her his name as Salami. But anyway, so they're launching ballistic missiles from warships now. It's for the first time ever. And a quote came out saying, this new achievement increases the range of our naval influence and power to any desired location because our ocean-traversing warships can get to any point in the oceans. I believe he's talking directly to the United States here. He continued saying, there will be no safe place for any power that wants to create insecurity for us. That's basically, people think he's talking about Israel and they're going to bomb them. But to me, that's a message out to the United States saying, hey, if you continued, we're going to reach out and touch you. And look at this video here. You have here, I'm going to play it really quick so you can see. Let's see if we can, let's blow it up here. These are being shot from containers. So this is a container ship, and that's a ballistic missile inside of a container. Very hard to, it's asymmetrical warfare. They're undetectable. You put that on a cargo ship with, 20, 30,000 other containers. Then what's the U.S. intel have to do? They have to track every cargo ship leaving an Iranian port. What if it stops off at another port? So look at that right there, right out of a container ship. What if it starts off, it stops in an African port and, unloads and loads new containers and you got to track all the containers? This would be a nightmare. So you can see how, this should be very worrisome for the United States. You roll, cargo ships around the coast of the United States, and I'll go ahead and just bring that back down. You move ships around the coast of the United States. They're full of containers. Do they have some of these cargo missiles in them? Maybe, maybe not. But if you wanted to hit the United States when they couldn't have time to use their air defense or shoot them down with our anti-missile capability, well, you'd get them right off the coast. You launch it, no time to react. EMPs go off. They land on shore, not enough time to, for the air defense to take them out. It could be a big threat, and I think that's what they're showing. They're going, look, we have this capability. We can put it on any ship. It fires out of a cargo container. This is a major worry. This is a big concern. So something that we need to be concerned about. Here's another picture of it. You can see, shot right out of a container ship. Not much you can do. I think when they track the flight of an incoming missile and they go up to intercept it, it's on the way down because that's how the trajectory and the math works, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how it works. But if you're shooting an EMP on a cargo ship off the coast of, let's say, LA, and it's just going up into the atmosphere, well, you're not going to have a chance to shoot it down. It's going to be too fast. Nothing you can do. And then basically, the United States of America is offline and, the other world, the other enemies of the United States out there no longer have to worry about it because now everybody in the United States is eating each other. So big show of force by Iran here, basically threatening the United States. So we have that to worry about. Then we're going to move on to Russia here. Things are still catching on fire all over Russia. Tons of sabotage. How much patience can Putin have to put up with this before he just starts going, balls to the wall and really starts laying waste to Ukraine and maybe other countries. So we have a MiG factory was set on fire in Moscow. They're saying they don't know how it happened, but here's a little video. We can put this on here. And you can see the fire, making MiG parts over there. Then we have, more fires in Moscow. This is near Moscow, and it's a refinery. It's the Gazprom Neft refinery near the Russian capital. So a lot of people are saying, hey, we take out the oil, stop the Russians from exporting oil, and we stop the Russians from the war because they can't get money from the sale. I think it actually might impact China more because China buys a lot of Russian oil, and if China doesn't have a lot of oil, maybe they can't go after Taiwan. But a lot of sabotage still happening in Russia and waiting for them to get fed up with it, basically, because I think they're going to lash back, and it's going to be pretty dramatic when they do. Now, Poland says they want to obtain nuclear weapons in a few years. Well, they could do it tomorrow. I mean, the United States said they're going to fly some nukes into the UK. We can just bring some nuclear warheads or missiles, put them in Poland. Poland has F-35s. All of a sudden, they're nuclear powered because the F-35s can launch nuclear payloads. So it wouldn't take years. It would just take, the United States to move them over there. Russia put nuclear warheads in Belarus, which is right next to Poland. So Poland's saying, well, give us some nukes too because we want to deter, Belarus and Russia. So look for this to happen probably sooner than a few years from now. And look for Russia to be extremely pissed off when this does happen. But just know that Poland's looking for nukes right now. Looking to add that to their system. Moving away from war. We got to talk about the next pandemic, it looks like. It says an elderly Alaska man is the first reported person to die of the recently discovered Alaskapox virus. Didn't know there was an Alaskapox. Now you know what this is. But anyway, it says here an elderly man has died from Alaskapox, the first known fatality from the recently discovered virus. It's recent, it's new, I guess. Where'd it come from? That's a good question, right? State officials said it's related to smallpox, cowpox, and monkeypox. So look for this out there. There's been other talk about other viruses, other stuff happening around, but it seems like we're hearing a little more about that, next virus thing to hit us. So let's keep watch out for this. Make sure you're ready for this. You have all the protocols ready. Biggest thing is be healthy. Your vitamin D, your vitamin C's, your other medications you can get. Everybody talks about Jace Medical and Contingency Medical and those guys. Wherever you can get, some antibiotics and stuff to have on hand in case something kicks off. Make sure you have all that stuff ready to go because it looks like they want to plan something else for us. Then we have this. We talk a lot about the Texas border. Well, let's talk about the California border. It borders Mexico as well. But what we're seeing is a 4,344% increase in Chinese immigrants coming to the U.S. border. They had 269 in a single day come through by San Diego. Okay, you think, 269 is not that bad, but, we see the next line. There have been over 20,000 Chinese over the border so far this year. We're only like 6 weeks into this year, and that's 20,000 Chinese. In all of 2021, there was 450 Chinese. So 3 years ago, 450. Now, all year, by the way, 450 all year. Now, 20K entered. And let's look at this video going on here. Let's start it over so we can see from the beginning. What you're going to see, let's turn the sound off, is, a young male, mostly healthy, young male, looking for my first family or child, male. There's a woman, I think, maybe. Don't want to misgender someone. A little child down there, another female. Mostly young fighting age men here in this line. It goes on. There's another child right there. Got to mix a few in there so it looks legitimate, I guess. I don't know, but this could be an issue. If we had a 4,000% increase, why is there an increase? Why is everybody leaving China? What are they coming here to do? Do we really need asylum from China? Is anybody really being... I don't know. Don't want to get into all that, or YouTube's going to hit me with a ban hammer, but could be a major problem here as well. 4,000% increase in Chinese coming across the border illegally. And lastly, coming back, staying at home here, we have the CPI today. Not good. It came up hotter. Hotter means higher than normal. They were expecting below 3%. It came in at 3.4% month-to-month change. Oh, that's year to year, but month to month it was 0.3% higher. So over December, January was 0.3% higher. So the stock market fell 700. Well, it was 700 points at one point, 500 some done now. At close, it looks like 4:20 Eastern time. At one point, it was down 700, down to 524 now. But that usually happens. When you get inflation news, the stock market goes down because people like to flock to inflation, the hedges on inflation, which are usually gold and silver. But if we look at gold and silver, they also dove today. They got smashed, 2.6% on the silver, 1.3 on the gold. So if they're getting smashed, we got some crypto smashing going on. Bitcoin under 50,000. It did go over to up to 51,000, down to 50. Let's see what else is there. We got oil. Oil's up on the news, probably up on the Middle East news as well. But stock market and the cryptos and the metals down. Everything's down. Doesn't make sense with how a stable, normal financial system, reacts to that news. And we all know, it's the CP lie, not CPI. Don't trust the government numbers. We all know people us that go out and buy our own groceries, buy our own gas, make our own food, maybe try to go out to a cheap restaurant once a week or so. Who knows? People like me and you like that, we know inflation's a lot higher than that 3.4% from last year. I just was in the store the other day and I looked at, I can't remember what the item was. It was either milk or something went up like 17% from like 2 months ago when I looked last time on my records that I keep. So yeah, that 3%, we all know, especially in an election year, they're going to massage those numbers. So just think how bad it really is if it says only a 0.3% increase from last month. So we all know it's bad. The only people that's not really affected by inflation are those, that make these reports and in the government that don't really do this or have an agenda. So anyway, markets are down. Everything's down. Look for that recession coming. There was a report out today that talked about 85% chance of a recession in 2024. Yeah, no kidding. I've been telling you guys for the longest term, when you look at this, the 10-year Treasury minus the 2-year, the 2-year yield spread, when it dips below zero, you take the 10-year and you minus the 2-year, you're going to have a recession. That's all these gray bars. You've seen this a few times before. I've showed it. Every time dip below, recession. Dip below, recession. Well, we're still below. We're kind of flatlining now here around the 0.3 mark. And, is it kind of doing one of these where it flatlines a little bit and then goes back up? I don't know. But when this thing goes up above zero, it's definitely going to be a recession. And it's going to be a big one this time. We've been below this line longer than any time in history before. And we've had some big recessions in history. Well, not in history, 1980 when this chart goes to, but, the 2008 big recession we had right here, it was just down, it was like 6 months. We're well over a year here. So, yeah, we're going to be in for a doozy. 85%, you might as well call it the 99% chance of recession this year coming. As we know from the layoffs and everything else I've showed to you. But that's what I got for you today. Put in the comments below, any comments you have on any of this. Also, forgot to tell you at the beginning of the video, though, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't been. If you've been unsubscribed, hit that button again, all that great stuff. And until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.